The Prairie Flower in Carter Lake is growing. The original casino covered about 7,000 square feet when it opened in November of 2018.
Yeah, a little bigger now. First Alert reporter John Chapman gives us an exclusive look at the new 70,000 square foot expansion that took a few years to complete.
October of 2022, the Ponca tribe of Nebraska broke ground to expand the Prairie Flower Casino in Carter Lake. 2 years later, First Alert 6 got an exclusive look inside as work crews put together the 70,000 square foot expansion. Today, we get another first look at the almost finished product. The first thing that grabs your attention is the look of the new casino.
It has a prairie or meadow look to it. It's a little bit more light and bright. Some of the columns will resemble the prairie grasses that grow from the earth. In bar 1031 behind us have these little drop-down fixtures that kind of resemble the fireflies at night. 600
state-of-the-art slot machines will cover the casino floor. Electronic table games are in the casino for now, soon to be replaced with real live-action tables. Prairie Flower has also stepped up its food offerings. Snacks, breakfast, lunch, and dinner will be served here. The sports bar has walls of televisions and an upscale menu.
And then we even move more into like tableside dining with, fine china and glass, but it's a sports bar, and that's called Sky Bar and Grill. We have our own branded Prairie Flower sports betting kiosk. So these would be stations that you would actually come in, look at the lines, bet on the Huskers if you like, or Iowa, whatever you like to do.
With all this extra space and added amenities, Prairie Flower will need more employees. They're looking to hire.
Right now, when we started about 6 years ago, I think we had about 90 to 100 employees. We're almost doubling that number. I think we're dancing somewhere around 170 employees right now. By the time it's all said and done, we'll probably be at 190 employees.
Prairie Flower Casino's general manager, Ernie DeLaverson, says these are good jobs with good benefits.
These are great benefits, 401k, health, dental, all that good stuff, and great compensation packages. I think we lead in the area for those comp packages for comparable businesses.
Right now, work crews are busy taking care of some finishing touches, but the slots will be rolling for the casino's official grand opening next week. In Carter Lake, Iowa, I'm John Chapman, First Alert 6.
The excitement begins. The Ponca tribe of Nebraska will hold a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Monday to formally open the expansion of the Prairie Casino in Carter Lake.